Let's take a look at a technique called method chaining, sometimes also called function chaining. This technique is something that we can use to make our code more concise and perhaps also more readable. In this example, I'll be using JavaScript's class syntax to essentially create a blueprint from which I can then go and create individual instances from. Being a musician, I'm going to use the Web Audio API here for my example. The Web Audio API is native to JavaScript. It's available in the browser, and it's a way to both create and manipulate sound sources. Now, just so you know, I've set up some basic boilerplate HTML here in this index.html file, and I have a script tag linking to my app.js file, which is here in the same directory as this index.html file. So working with the Web Audio API requires us to first instantiate an audio context, and that's what I'm doing here in this first line. Then what we want to do is we want to use JavaScript's class syntax so that we can create sounds which we can then start playing and stop playing. So let's go ahead and create a class called sound, and then we'll go ahead and build out its constructor. Now, the constructor is a function that runs when an instance is created, and it's used to assign various properties to the object instance. Before we flesh this out further, it's probably worth looking at how this class will ultimately be used to create an instance, because that'll give us context for the rest of the explanation. So when we want to create an instance of a class, we're going to invoke that class using the new keyword like so. And if we pass in any arguments here, they'll correspond to the parameters that the constructor function is set up to receive. So without doing anything else, if we just invoke the sound class here with the new keyword and log this to the console, we'll see that we get an empty sound object. So let's go back now and flesh out the constructor to give this object some properties. Now, like I said before, the goal here is to create a sound that we can then start and stop playing. And we can do that by calling the createOscillator method on the audio context. So we'll do that here and assign that to this.osc, which will be short for oscillator, oscillator being the sound source. Now, if we log that to the console, we can see that our instance object is no longer empty. Now we have an oscillator node property on our object, and this oscillator node is itself an object with various properties. The reason that we use the this keyword, as in this.osc, is because the object instance that's created will be what this refers to. And it's likely that we'll want to assign the result of invoking this sound class to a variable. For example, we can create const sound1 and assign that to equal the invocation of a new sound. Likewise, we can also create another variable, we'll call it sound2, and have that set to equal new sound. And then if we console.log each of these, we can see that we get two separate instances of the sound object. Here's the first one, and here's the second one. By using the this keyword when setting up our class, the object that gets returned from instantiating that class is what the this keyword refers to. And so if we assign this returned object to a variable, like we did here, that variable will now be what the this keyword refers to. Let's go ahead and get rid of that second sound though, because we really don't need it to demonstrate method chaining. Going back to our constructor, we're going to also need to connect the oscillator to the audio context destination, which represents your computer's audio output. And we do that like so, using the connect method. Now, in order to actually start and stop the sound so that we can hear it, we have two methods which are available to us from the Web Audio API, which are appropriately called start and stop. And we'll write these as methods on our sound class. So first we'll write the playSound method. And this method we'll call this.osc.start. And by the way, if you're trying this yourself, make sure that you turn your speakers down to a reasonable volume level before you actually try to play the sound. Now, since we've instantiated a new sound and also assigned it to a variable called sound1, and as we saw that sound1 is an object, we can call the playSound method on sound1, like this. And when we save this file, we should hear a tone, which will be a sine wave. Now I'm going to comment that out for a moment and resave the file to stop the tone, since we haven't implemented our stop method yet. So now here's where method chaining comes into play. Since we know that invoking new sound returns to us an object, instead of writing this sound1.playSound on a new line, instead we can chain it here onto the end of the invocation of new sound using dot notation. And again, we can go ahead and save our file, and like before, we should hear our sound playing. Now let's go and try to create the stop sound method. I'll use a JavaScript set timeout to stop the oscillator from playing after 1 second, which here is represented as 1000 milliseconds. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to put playSound on its own line. And then on a new line, I'll call stop sound on sound1. So I'll save the file now, and we should hear the tone play and stop after approximately 1 second. Now let's try to make these 3 lines more concise using method chaining. So as we did before, we can go back and call playSound using dot notation off of new sound. And then we can go ahead and chain on stop sound directly off of playSound. Now let's save the file and see what we get. So as you could hear, the sound just kept playing on and on. Let's take a look at why this didn't work. Well, what we see in the console is cannot read property stop sound of undefined. Now why is it saying undefined here? Well, if we take a look at the playSound method, we can see that the method doesn't actually return anything. It does start playing the sound, but it returns undefined. So stop sound over here is trying to determine what the this keyword is referring to, but all it sees is undefined. So what we want to do to make this work is to return this from the playSound method. If we do that, stop sound will now have an object with an OSC property to refer to, and can therefore go ahead and stop the sound from playing. Now, although we looked at method chaining here through the lens of web audio, this is a technique that you can use all over the place, and you'll see it being used all the time in the real world in various code bases and libraries. In this video, we started out by going over JavaScript's class syntax, and then we looked at its constructor function and the usage of the this keyword. We learned a bit about the Web Audio API, and ultimately saw how method chaining can be a way to make our code read more concisely, and perhaps a bit more cleanly as well.